discussion America. Well, the midterm elections are over. Democrats. I want to talk about that a little bit. First, I'm not really crazy how this all went down, and I'm not saying that because the Democrats gained control. I'm saying that on how they gained control. They didn't gain control because of the issues. They didn't campaign because they're going to do this for the people. They're going to do that for the people in their district. Their whole campaign was, I'm going after Trump. I'm going to kick Trump's butt. I'm going to put him in jail. I'm going to go after his taxes. I'm going to go after this. I'm going to go after that. That's how they got the votes. Now, that's okay if you want to play that game. I mean, if that's the way you want to go, that's fine. But my problem with this is that the Republican Party was a no-show. You're being constantly attacked. If your people that you put up to run against the Democrats are constantly being attacked and you don't go to bat for them, then you know what? This lays on your shoulders. It's not that the people didn't show up to vote. And it's not that the Republican candidates were not better than the Democratic candidates. You know, and it's not that the Democrats had better issues and were better prepared than the Republican candidates. It's that in the swing states, the Republican Party was a no-show. You know, I have to tell you, it's sad that the Republican Party pretty much abandoned its people. And that's where I feel. I'm a Republican, and I felt that I was abandoned by my own party. Now, I live in New York, and I know New York is a Democratic state. It's always been a Democratic state. Most of your major cities, where they have a large population of minorities, is a Democratic city, Democratic states. But that doesn't mean that can't change. That doesn't mean that with a little education on our issues and what we want to do for the people, for the country, what direction we want to take the country in, that doesn't mean that with a little education on what we and how we want to operate, that we can't change some people's minds, especially with the numbers the way they've been with this administration. Now, in my opinion, with the numbers the way they've been, with unemployment down, and the lowest it's been in decades for minorities, blacks and Hispanics especially, with entrepreneurship up in the same categories, that means that minorities are better off with the policies of the Republican Party and this administration. Now, I'm not saying that the Republican Party has to spend billions, millions of dollars to get the word out. But if they would have taken the time months ago, when these numbers started to come out, and just place some strategic ads on TV, in newspapers, magazines, on radio, not a lot, once a week, twice a week, different demographics, just showing the numbers, just being positive, not targeting anybody, not saying the Democrats haven't done anything for you. In the last 5 decades, the Democrats haven't done anything for you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just say, under this administration, under the leadership of President Trump, under his policies, you're paying lower taxes. You're seeing more money in your pocket. Entrepreneurship is up. There are more people opening up businesses. You're seeing there are more jobs available for the lower middle class, the middle class. Unemployment is down for the minorities, for the blacks and Hispanics. under this administration and his policies. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to attack anybody. You don't have to be negative. You could just be honest. Be honest with the numbers. Let the Democrats attack and say this is false. That let them go on the attack. But if you just keep educating with the numbers, and the numbers don't lie, the numbers are there. And you just keep up with the numbers, keep up with the numbers, keep up with the numbers. After a while, it'll sink in. And if they weigh today's numbers versus numbers 3 years ago, 4 years ago, they just might give the Republican Party a chance. But see, with the mainstream media, only thing that's coming out of the mainstream media and D.C. is negativity. Oh, Trump said this, Trump tweeted that, Trump's going to do this, Trump's going to build a wall, Trump's going to hurt the minorities, Trump's going to send everybody back to their countries, Trump's going to do this, Trump. But nobody's talking about the good that's happening. They're not talking about the good that's happening. And that's the problem. The Republican Party is not standing up for its own president. And it's not standing up for its own people. The people that voted to put the president in, the people that want the president, the people that want a better life and a better direction for this country. We have a stronger military. We have more jobs. Our economy is booming. And you don't talk about that. You let the Democrats constantly go on the attack, and you don't defend yourself against that. That, my friends, is why the Democrats took control over the House. They were more concerned about the Senate, and I get it. They need the legislative branch of this. I understand it. I mean the judicial branch of this. I understand that. But you abandon your people? I'll tell you something. I have some acquaintances. I live in New York. I have acquaintances that when the primaries were being voted on, the Democratic primaries. Now, I know for a fact these guys are Republicans. They voted for Trump. They lean Republican. But yet they were going to vote in the Democratic primaries. And I asked him, I said, I thought you were Republican. He said, yeah, I'm Republican, but I'm a registered Democrat. I said, why are you a registered Democrat when you're Republican? He said, Tony, the only way that I can have a voice in this city is to be a registered Democrat so I can at least try to shape where the city goes to by voting in a primary to get somebody in there that has anywhere near what our values are. And that blew me away. That blew me away. I have a Republican that's a registered Democrat because that's the only way he can get anybody in, because a Republican vote in this city is useless. I mean, I tell you, the Democrats won Republican-held seats in Colorado, Florida, Kansas, Minnesota, New York, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. And Kendra Horn won a stunning upset over the Republican Steve Russell in Oklahoma. I mean, when you look at those states, most of those states, if you look at the graphic I'm putting up now of the state, of all the states, you'll see that those states are Republican states. That means that the Republican Party didn't put any money into advertisements in those states. That means that the Republican candidate in that state, in those states, had zero backing from their own party. Look at that. Look at that. Myself, I was at dinner with a friend of mine about a month and a half before the elections. And I'm sitting there and I realized I don't know who or if there was a Republican candidate for governor in my own state. I asked my friend, who was also a Republican, and he's like a card-carrying Republican. I said, who's our representative? Who's going to be running for governor in New York? And he looked at me and says, I don't know. I had to go home that night and Google to find out who was the person running for governor in New York against Cuomo. And it was Mark Molinaro. That means a month and a half, 2 months before the election, I haven't seen one ad on TV with regard to Molinaro running for governor. So how is he expected to win? How is he expected to win in a governor's race in New York if there's no ads? By the way, Molinaro won most of the counties upstate. But because New York is so heavily populated, New York City is what carried Cuomo, not the upstate counties. The 5 boroughs is what carried Cuomo to the finish line. Not one ad in the newspapers, not one ad on TV. You know what Mark Molinaro did? A couple of days before the election, he was sitting in the subway stations trying to talk to people, talking about how bad the subway is and how it's dirty, or it's not on time, and the cars are breaking down, and people deserve better. That's what his push was, to try to get votes out of New York City. That's sad. Absolutely sad. So that means that Cox dropped the ball. The Republican Party in New York didn't do anything. It's absolutely sad. I can't believe this yet. I really can't believe what was going on. They have to do better. They absolutely have to do better. So Ed Cox in New York dropped the ball. That's New York. But you got Ronna Romney McDaniel, our national committee, a national head of the committee in the Republican committee. Where was she? Where was she throughout all this year? Again, where's the money? Where's the money that everybody's pouring into the Republican Party? How come they're not? They want money from us. They want us to donate to the Republican Party. Why am I going to donate to the Republican Party when my district, my state, is not going to get any of it? When they're not even trying to get the vote over here in New York and other Democratic states to try to flip them. Now I'm going to tell you something. It's all about education. And what I mean about that is this. After I voted at my polling place in Queens, I'm sitting in my van. Now, in the back window of my van, I have a sticker that says Trump 2020. An African-American woman was walking behind my van with her young son, about 12, 13 years old. And she saw the sticker. She looked at her son, and she pointed out the sticker to her son. I can see it by my rearview mirror. She pointed it out, and she was talking to him, almost in like a warning, like this guy is for Trump. These are the people you have to watch out for. These are the bad people. He's a Republican. He's a Trump. He's for Trump. So he's the one that's causing all this trouble. They're teaching their young to only go Democrat. And if that's all they do is hear from their parents and from their elders. Doesn't necessarily even have to be their parents. It could be their uncle. It could be their aunt. It can be just a teacher. It could be anybody, about how great the Democratic Party is and what it can do for you. Then all they do on TV while they're watching their cartoons or their comedy shows, and it comes up with these commercials slamming the Republican Party, slamming their president, the negative ads, the garbage ads that they put out constantly. It reinforces what their elders are telling them. So now they're going to grow up not just wanting to become a Democrat, but they're going to grow up hating Republicans. It becomes a hatred. That's why everybody's like at odds with one another. That's why everybody's fighting with one another. When I was younger, I didn't care. Whatever. I don't know if I'm a Democrat or Republican. I didn't give it any thought. I honestly didn't start giving it any thought until I was in my late 20s, early 30s. And then I started thinking, okay, well, what's the difference? And then I started seeing the difference. I started seeing how the Democrats wanted this program, that program, pay for this, pay for that, pay for this, pay for that. And I know damn well that if it was my house and I wanted to give this and give that, and my kids wanted this, my kids wanted that, everybody wanted that, how am I going to pay for that? I can't afford that. So I had to make hard choices. Yes, you can have that. No, you can't have that. We have the money for that. We don't have the money for this. What's more important? Democrats don't think like that. Democrats say everybody's got to get everything. It's just everything's important. Everybody has to get. You have to. There's no hard choices made. Raise taxes. Increase fines. It's all about digging into my pocket. Whereas the Republicans want everybody to be fiscally responsible. There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong in cutting back. Well, what if you needed? Well, if you needed, you wouldn't want them to cut back. No, I wouldn't. But if you look at the big picture, everybody benefits in the long run. Look at McDowell here. I mean, like, this is your Republican Party leader. What has she done? You only pump money into the Republican states? You just focus on the Electoral College? I understand you want your president reelected. But what good is having a president reelected if it's going to be a lame duck presidency? If you can't get the House and the Senate to work together, the president's useless. You think for 1 minute the Congress is going to get anything done now? Nothing's going to get done. They want to go after Trump. That's their main focus. Instead of doing a country's business, now it's going to be subpoenas. We want to see his taxes. Who cares? What do I care about his taxes when he was a businessman, when he was a reality show host? What do I care? As long as he's doing right by the country now. This is what I'm concerned about now. I don't care what he did 20 years ago. Do you? Seriously. Do you care what he did 20 years ago? What he did 20 years ago, does it affect you now? What affects you now? Stop the nonsense. Stop it. You want to get him? Oh, you want to get him? And then they're going to play tit for tat. You don't think he's going to go after Hillary now? Come on. Obama? You don't think other people can be investigated on a Senate level? Give me a break, people. We're just opening up a can of worms. Your House of Representatives, they're just going to open up a can of worms. And you think that's good? That's good for the country? They keep talking about this Russia investigation. My God, it's 2 years already. If you don't have dirt on him now with regard to the Russia investigation and this damn investigation ready, either come up with something or end it. It's 2 years already. If you don't have evidence now, you're not going to have it. What, are you waiting for some miracle? Please, stop this nonsense already. To recap, you have the House is now controlled by the Democrats. I beg you, call your representatives and push them to get to work to do the country's business. Stop this vendetta against the president. It's not going to do anybody any good. It's 2 more years. 2 more years. Look how fast this last 2 years went. You don't like him? Fine. Get a candidate that's worthy to run against him and vote his butt out. That's the American way. You don't like him? Vote him out. If you try to impeach him, you're going to kill your party. Because I tell you something. If you don't think for 1 minute that if you Democrats don't do business the way you should do business, that at the end of this 2 years when he's running for president or re-election, that he's not going to use this as ammunition against you to regain control of the House, you're insane. Because I could just hear the rhetoric now. 2 years they had the control. What did they do for you? Nothing. They went after me. That's your Congress. That's your Democratic-controlled Congress. Instead of doing your business to make your life better, to make your life more prosperous, they went after me. Re-elect me. Re-elect the Republican Congress back, and we're going to continue to make America great. That's what it's going to be. Wise up. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Get to work on the country's business. Get some bills passed. Get some decent bills passed. Put it through the Senate. Let it be where we can work together. Let the Senate okay it and put it in front of the president's desk for his signature. Let's get this country moving forward. Stop this already. Oh, God, it's like talking to a wall sometimes. It can't be that foreign to you what I'm talking about. It can't be that foreign. Well, I think that's about all I have to say on this subject, so we're keeping it short. What I'd like you to do, I'd appreciate it if you guys would visit Big Daddy Productions' website at www.nybdp and check out our sponsors. You know, they're the reason why I'm able to be here. And, you know, see what they have to offer, and maybe you can, you know, pick up an ebook or something and, you know, keep us going. I'll see you next week. And I'm sure we're going to have more to talk about because this isn't going away. And it's increasingly difficult for me just to talk about local politics because there's just so much stuff going on with the national politics, especially after going after that guy at his house. I mean, God, we lost the House. The Republicans lost the House. Did you see Republicans take to the streets and start rioting and marching and come on, man. We're grown-ups. We got work to do. I got to work. I got to go to work. You got to go to work. What's going on here? Stop it. Please. It's Anthony Fiorinelli. See you next week. Later.